Under the quiet moon, where the wind carries whispers of forgotten lands, welcome to Echoes of the East tonight. Let an ancient tale guide your heart and calm your mind. Long ago, on the coast of West Sumatra, there was a small fishing village where the waves rolled endlessly against the dark rocks, and the scent of salt water lingered in the air. In this humble village lived a widow and her only son, Malin. They were poor, yet bound by a love that glowed brighter than the lanterns fishermen carried out to sea at night. His mother worked tirelessly, repairing nets, mending clothes, selling what little they could find in the market. Her hands were rough, her back bent, but her eyes always softened when they looked upon her son. Malin was a boy of restless spirit. He grew up watching the horizon, where the sea kissed the sky, dreaming of the world beyond, while other boys chased crabs along the shore or helped their fathers haul fish. Malin stood at the edge of the surf, gazing outward as though the waves whispered secrets only he could hear. His mother often touched his shoulder and said, "Do not forget, Malin. The sea is vast and cruel, but a mother's heart is the safest harbor." He would nod, though in his heart he yearned for more. As Malin grew into a young man, his longing for adventure became unbearable. One morning, when the air smelled of rain and the sea foamed angrily, a merchant ship anchored offshore. The villagers rushed to sell goods or seek passage, but Malin saw something greater. He saw his chance to leave behind poverty, to taste the world of riches and power. He begged the captain for work, promising strength and loyalty. At first, the captain laughed at his ragged clothes, but when Malin lifted heavy barrels with ease, he relented. His mother wept when Malin told her he would leave. She clutched his hands, her tears soaking into his skin. "Malin, my only son, do not go. The sea is treacherous. If you must leave, promise me you will return. No matter how rich or powerful you become, promise me you will not forget your mother." Malin's eyes softened, though his voice carried the impatience of youth. "I promise, mother. When I succeed, I will return for you. You will no longer live in hunger or sorrow." She kissed his forehead, whispering prayers into his hair. Though her heart trembled with fear, the ship departed at dawn, cutting through the waves, and the village watched until it was a speck against the horizon. Malin's mother stood on the shore long after, clutching her shawl against the wind, whispering his name as though the sea might carry it to him. Years passed. For the widow, days turned into months, months into years. She grew older, her hair silvering, her steps slower. Yet every sunrise, she walked to the shore, gazing at the horizon. Villagers pitied her, some mocking her faith. "Your son is gone," they said. "He will not return." But she shook her head. "A mother's heart knows. Malin will return to me." She continued to live in hope, though her body bent lower with each passing season. Meanwhile, Malin's life at sea transformed him. He proved himself on voyages across distant islands, braving storms, trading spices, silks, and precious stones. His strength, cleverness, and ambition drew the admiration of merchants and nobles alike. He rose from a poor deckhand to a wealthy trader, commanding ships laden with treasure. He dressed in fine garments, gold chains on his neck, jeweled rings on his fingers. His name spread in harbors across the seas. No longer was he Malin, the fisherman's son. He was Malin, master of ships, a man of fortune. But with fortune came pride, and with pride came forgetfulness. The promises of his youth faded beneath the weight of luxury. He married a noblewoman, beautiful and proud, who came from a family of high rank. To her, Malin spun stories of his origin, but he buried the truth of his poor village and his widowed mother. He feared her disdain, feared the shame of revealing he had once been a barefoot boy in a tattered sword. One fateful day, Malin's ships returned to the very shore where he was born. The villagers gathered, marveling at the vessels with sails like white wings, at the wealth displayed openly upon the decks. Among them, an old woman shuffled forward, her eyes wide. She recognized him instantly. Though his clothes were grand, his posture regal, and his face sharper with age. "Malin," she whispered, her voice trembling. She pushed through the crowd, her heart racing. "My son, my Malin, you have returned." The noble woman beside Malin frowned, looking at the frail figure in ragged clothes, her hair wild, her feet bare. She tugged Malin's sleeve. "Who is this old beggar, my husband? Why does she call you son?" Malin's face burned. He looked at the mother who had sacrificed everything for him, who had waited faithfully all these years. But fear of shame, fear of losing the respect of his wife and crew, hardened his heart. He pulled back. "I do not know this woman," he said coldly. "She must be mad. My mother is not a beggar." The widow froze, her heart shattering like glass. "Malin," she cried, "it is I, your mother. Do you not remember the one who carried you? Who fed you when you were hungry? Who prayed for your safety every day? Look at me, my son. Look at your mother." She reached for his hand, but he shoved her aside. The crowd gasped. His wife sneered, covering her nose as though the old woman's touch were filth. "Take her away," Malin commanded. "She insults me with her lies." The widow stumbled to the ground, tears mingling with the dust. Her hands trembled, reaching toward the sky. She had endured hunger, loneliness, ridicule, and age. But this, the denial of her own son, was a wound deeper than any blade. She cried out, her voice breaking with anguish. "Oh God, if he is truly my son, if he has denied me as his mother, then let justice fall. Let the sea bear witness. Let him feel the weight of his betrayal." The sky darkened suddenly, clouds swirling. The calm sea roared, waves rising like mountains. Thunder cracked, lightning split the sky. Malin's ships rocked violently, sails tearing, masts breaking. The villagers scattered, crying out in fear. Malin shouted orders, but his voice was drowned by the storm. His noble wife clung to him, screaming, but the fury of nature was unstoppable. As rain lashed and winds howled, Malin stumbled toward the shore. He looked back and saw the widow standing, her thin frame silhouetted against the raging storm, her arms raised. "Mother," he cried, terror flooding his face. Too late, his pride broke. Too late, he remembered the warmth of her hands, the softness of her lullabies, the promises he had made as a boy. He tried to run to her, but his feet grew heavy, the earth clutching at his legs. His skin hardened, his cries turned into silence. Slowly, painfully, his body became stone. When the storm subsided, silence fell. The sea calmed, the clouds parted, and on the shore stood a great rock, shaped like a man kneeling in despair. His face twisted toward the horizon. The villagers whispered, pointing, "It is Malin. The curse has taken him." The widow's tears fell, but her face was calm, for justice had been served, though her heart was forever broken. To this day, along the coast of Sumatra, there is a stone said to be the remains of Malin Kundang. The waves still strike it, as if the sea itself reminds all who see it, never deny the one who gave you life. For a mother's love is both a blessing and a curse if betrayed.